not sure if you've heard of me at all. I go by Professor Doom One on YouTube, and I've been working my darndest to bring to light some of the underhanded activities of Steve Grasty. And,
I remember seeing some of your videos.
oh,
Thank you for your efforts.
oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, as I'm sure that you could see from some of that, there is some definite nefarious activity on his part going on. Would you agree?
On whose part?
Well, Steve Grasty and probably quite a few other individuals there in town that work hand in hand with him. Dan Nichols.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
Yeah. Oh,
Uh,
go ahead.
I've been told that not Grasty, the sheriff Ward, his most of his family works for the BLM.
You know, I have heard that, but I have not been able to confirm that. There, after that information came.
Me neither.
Yeah, after that information came out, there was actually some information that came up that may not have been him. That it may just be somebody with the same name, which is a possibility. You can't discount that, but what you will find though that's really.
I always want to try to get information whenever possible. Of course, yes.
Well, I mean, you don't want.
How can I help?
Oh, well, I actually called to find out if there were any developments with your reaching out to any of the military personnel. Are they going to help these people? Or are they pretty much going to reserve any kind of action until they get more intel on the matter? Or do we know anything at all?
We know nothing.
Okay.
You know, like Sergeant Schultz in that show. I know nothing. We know nothing. They did not make any attempt to talk to me after that. I have put out a second letter just recently.
Uh-huh.
I can send you a copy in the email copy.
Sure.
Now, the thing people don't understand is that the National Guard is actually military.
Right.
And they are restricted from entering into activities within the United States boundaries based upon posse comitatus and a few other things. The letter was specifically pointed at not the military, but the provost marshal.
Right. I saw that.
Now, the provost marshal is the police force of the military. And it is my understanding from Judge Anna, you're familiar with her?
Yeah, Anna Ritz, Wrights or Wrights?
Yes.
Yep.
Right. It is my understanding from her that they do have the authority to do a police action to protect the citizens if the citizens are specifically in fear of their lives and property.
Right. As far as I knew, this is exactly how it works as far as with the provost marshal. The only people that have the authority to arrest the president even is the provost marshal. He's the only one who can effectuate an arrest against the president for any kind of criminal treason, whatever, blah blah blah. And or of course, if there's going to be any kind of impeachment that had nothing to do with him, but the provost marshal is supposed to be the highest law enforcement of the military and of the land. Is the last I remember. I think you may be right on that.
You are correct. You are correct. Unfortunately, what we have here in Oregon is a acting provost marshal, and all communication has been going to the adjutant general, who is making the decisions apparently for the provost marshal. And so far they have ignored our request for their help.
Have you been in contact? And I know it might seem a little bit far to go with this at the moment, but have you reached out with any of um, the 3%ers of the militia whatsoever, or are you just strictly sticking with a more of a military type intervention here?
Well, at this, we're trying to keep it along the strict protocol.
Right.
Our next tactic, or our next step, is to make another letter going to the governor, an official letter going to the governor.
Right.
Now, the problem is, the governor is the one who instigated this in the first place.
I saw that. Yes, Mrs. Brown. Yeah, she's. Oh my lord.
Yeah, she's. It has been rumored that she is best friends with Hillary.
Sure. Yes. Yep.
Now we do have. Now this is a fact, and this is verified, that Kate Brown, our governor, sent a letter to President Obama, who in return to whatever the letter said, Obama sent a specialist to Burns. We have not identified him. We don't know who he is. We do know he arrived.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as he arrived, the talks between Lavoie and Amen and the FBI went totally cold. In fact, one of Lavoie's last messages, he states that on YouTube, that he doesn't understand why, but suddenly negotiations, communications, everything just went cold. And 2 days after that, Lavoie was dead.
Well, it would appear that they wanted to speed up bringing this to a not so peaceful resolution. Wouldn't you agree?
That is our conclusion. We have just been given a red alert from Burns. In fact, it came in about half an hour ago.
They're under martial law?
Well, we don't know. We have a code system, mm-hmm. and the people on the ground in Burns gave us a code, a red alert code. Something is happening. We don't know what. They are going cell phone silent. We have no information on what is happening, but something, based upon our little alert system, something is definitely happening, but we don't know what it is.
I just watched a video here by someone there, or actually somebody who talks to somebody who's a rancher right there, and they said it appears like they are setting up some kind of martial law type barricades on the roads. I'm just paraphrasing. I don't want to commit that that's exactly the type of structuring they got going on, but it definitely had something to do with some kind of martial law. And it just came out here.
Oh.
It just came out about an hour ago. So
okay.
It fits right in the timeline that you speak of.
So they're locking down the whole city. Now, the thing we keep saying is these are mercenaries.
Right.
These are FBI agents. They have no jurisdiction.
Right.
None whatsoever. Even the there is no conflict going on. There is no hostilities going on with the local people. This is an occupation.
Right.
By a foreign group.
Oh,
the mercenary.
Right. We knew with this whole BLM thing, that the way that this is structured with them, this can't be some quasi-governmental agency. This has got to be something far, far worse than that. Somebody who is actually...
And it's not the Russians. I have intel on that.
No, but but they may be working in conjunction with another country, but it might not even be so much as that. It may be that the country that does have a vested interest in the mineral rights here in the United States may be selling their vested interest to the Russians, if you get what I'm meaning.
Yes. Well, my intel from people overseas have told me, and I cannot confirm this, of course.
Okay.
They have told me that the interaction is with corporations, not the governments.
Right.
It is not the Chinese government, and it's not the Russian government. There's also an inclusion of a company from Canada that is part of this also.
Well, then, if you mention Canada, then it can only be left with one sister country, and that would be Great Britain. Considering that I do...
As far as I know, they have no part of this.
Okay, all right.
But that may change in 5 minutes.
Of course.
But my background information has and contacts have told me that it is all a corporate thing. It is all about Hillary Clinton and her good friend Kate Brown, and they want the ranchers out of there so that they can pull out the uranium and the gold.
Right, and you know,
that was my end.
And do you know how long they've known that uranium has been sitting there? Just waiting for the time where it's needed, which the time is now. They've known it's been sitting there since the 1950s at least. I found documents on that.
Yes, apparently it's been something like 100 years.
Yeah.
They've known it's been there.
Yeah.
Now, of course, 100 years ago, they probably didn't even know about uranium, but
right.
I believe in the 50s they updated that to uranium.
Right. Yep.
So you are absolutely correct. And the timeline that I was given that they were pushing for, was they wanted to start breaking ground in May.
Right. May. That's pretty quick. That is.
That's right. That was their intent. I don't think that's going to happen. At least I hope it doesn't. But see, have you ever heard of the Pinkerton Law?
Of course. I remember when C.P. Pinkerton used to send out like a police force, like private police force way back in the 1800s to go arrest people, and they were not part of a law enforcement agency. But, yeah, go ahead.
Right, and so Congress passed an act called the Pinkerton Act in I believe it was 1889. And it's not very many people know about it, but I've been trying to get people to understand about it, that it is on the books, and it specifically says that the U.S. government cannot use mercenaries whatsoever, period, no question mark, no comments, nothing. Flat out, you cannot use mercenaries.
Well, what I will do...
And what do we have over here? FBI, that is a corporation, and the BLM, which is a private corporation, and a whole bunch of whitewater mercenaries.
Right. Well, see, that's one of the things that I cannot believe that a lot of these guys would just sell out their countrymen for a paycheck. Because a lot of them are right here from this country. They're ex-military, just looking to make that extra dollar. And are they really willing to go that far to shoot their fellow Americans on a command for a paycheck? That is a scary thought. That's a scary thought.
Yeah, I've lived all over the world. I have seen what people can do.
Oh, yeah, yep. I'm not going to keep you too much longer. I really appreciate you talking to me. There's one question I wanted to ask you here because I've seen this question crop up